What's going on, everybody? Look, I told you that this was going to happen. Now, I think it was like 2 weeks ago, we were on the live show. We were having a conversation. It was myself and Mike, and we started to talk about the adult entertainment industry. And Mike, who turns out to be a connoisseur, I didn't even know. I've known the guy 25 years. He knows so much about the business in general. We start bringing up different actresses, and one name starts coming up a lot. And that is Penny Barber. It kept coming up, and more people like, you got to have her on the show. You got to have her on the show. And I said, look, we'd love to have her on the show. The audience starts tweeting out at her. She goes, leave me the fuck alone. Go to my PR. And so finally, we get to the PR. They say, yeah, if you guys want her on, let's have a conversation. So here she is, ladies and gentlemen. We have her, the one and the only Penny Barber. Penny, how are you?
I'm great. A little surprised.
Surprised why?
I didn't know why you wanted me here, but my PR agent, she was like, you should do it. And I was like, okay.
Well, this is Roxy and Mike. Roxy and I have been doing shows for a very long time. Mike, I've known for years. As I told you, though, Mike is, Roxy, what was Mike's face like before Penny entered the stream?
He's very, very excited. Like a kid in a candy store, if that's the right analogy. He's a huge fan of yours. And we have been talking about you for a while, and a lot of our audience are a big fan of yours. So it was kind of a no-brainer to have you on, honestly. And we're really curious about you. So
I do weird stuff. Like,
I don't know.
That's great.
But,
we do too.
We do too. I mean, and one of the things that I wanted to talk about, because I think that very much so that the adult entertainment industry is very much, especially with social media, has become as much pop culture, pun intended, I guess, as anything else. So when the social media aspect, what I said today on the show is I was telling people, because the audience had submitted some questions too. And when I was talking to them about it, I said, look, in the 70s, it was film. And it was, people would go to the movie theaters. And in the 80s, VHS explodes. And it's like, oh my God, this is the next wave. And then DVDs. Social media has changed the game tremendously, right?
I mean, yes. Yeah, it has. I mean, I can't really speak to mainstream, but for me, an adult, it certainly has. From starting back in 2003 and not really having it to now. Yeah, that's true. It has.
I think because, if you look at it so let's kind of start with your origin inside the business, right? Because I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, where it used to be almost like where Vivid and these other things were like the studios, and now you can pretty much make your own brand through your own content. And I assume, I might be very naive to it, but I would like to know that journey, like how, I guess, discovered, how did you get involved, how did your ascension happen, like all those types of things.
My ascension.
Yeah, because look, you went from being someone who is you're a name. You're like your name kept coming up in the conversation, in the chat again and again and again.
The queen of the MILFs. I feel like that says a lot about I mean, I like movies, so I guess there's some crossover there, but I'm like, I guess y'all attract what's someone who's into MILFs? What do you call that? What do you call yourself, Mike? What do your people go by?
Well, okay. Let me. I guess.
What are you going to say right now?
Look at him, he's tongue-tied.
I can't. I've got like the paper. I'm like, oh my God, I'm sweating. You're making me nervous. I guess how I found you wasn't through your MILF stuff. It was like your normal stains, like blacked and tushy and milfy. Like,
but you're MILFy. You're not into MILFs, but you found me MILFy.
Probably through blacked more and pushy. Like, yeah. So it was like more, yeah. Okay. Not so much like the stepson comes home and dad's away, but
I mean, that's the best though. That's the best one.
Let me tell you, Mike's full of shit. Mike knows your whole filmography back and forth. He knows all the steps. He knows how many times you played a stepmom. He knows everything. You know.
It's okay, Mike. I'm not going to answer you unless you call me mommy. So.
Oh, I love this.
You can pretend it's the last ever. But...
you just made his 2026.
You make me not be able to fucking breathe here. Oh, God.
You're gonna make me not be able to breathe here? Who is it?
You, mommy.
Mommy.
Oh my God, you guys, he did it.
I love it. Of course he did.
Hey,
of course he did.
I'll try anything. I'll do, like I said on the show the other day when we were talking about.
You better be careful with this subject with her.
I'll try anything once.
Roxy,
Everything
you had
once.
so Penny, Roxy and I have been doing interviews together. Oh shit, it's been at least what, Rox, 10 years now?
10 years, yeah.
She is the queen of research. She knows, she really, really does. And so she knows a lot of your history. She knows a lot of these things too. So Rox, you had some fascinating questions that you were bringing up just on the show, but what was it that you were most curious about? Because I really want to know.
Yeah, there's no need for you to about it.
Oh, no.
Well,
I'm so sorry.
why? No,
You look like a
why
nice lady.
I have to let you know that nobody in my entire life has ever called me a nice lady. So
Oh.
I am very grateful for that. But
get along.
why make that face though? I feel like you're such a confident queen. Like, what are you nervous about?
I actually don't like offending people. If I'm in a room where I know everybody's fine, but I do think you look like a nice lady. And, I don't know. I'm like, what did she look up? Because I've done some messed up stuff. Early internet, it was a different time. You can't get away with like a lot of things now. On some of the, which I actually think is kind of silly. It's a movie, whatever.
Mhm.
But yeah.
I think that, as you mentioned, early internet versus now, going into kind of your history with originally how you got into the industry versus then how you were working for people versus then the clip site and all of that. I was interested because I don't know if everybody knows what it was like then versus now. So if you would take us back a little bit to originally when you started, I know that you've mentioned Craigslist, which I was like, wow, that was how like people originally used to get involved?
Yeah, I mean, well, it's how I did. There were certainly people who would go to Los Angeles and get an agent and, be with the big companies and everything like that. But, it really was a different time. Like everybody and their mother, it seemed like, had a little clip store, and there were like tons of different little clip sites. And everybody was, posting content that they had made or that they had bought and were just reposting. That's how, Peter Ackworth from kink.com, that guy.
I'll say yes for the purposes of continuing, but yeah. Okay.
Well, kink.com is like this really big company, and it also got started on Craigslist.
Oh, wow.
Peter would find models on there and he was like reposting stuff. And so you could work for like big companies off of Craigslist. And you could also work for like just like some guy who had a camera and, maybe he wasn't ready to hire an escort yet, but he'd take pictures of some cute girl. And then mostly what I was working for were people who would find me off of a website that's still around called Model Mayhem, and another website that I don't think is around anymore called One Model Place. Like you'd call people on the phone and you'd give them your OMP number, your One Model Place number, and they would like look you up and decide if they wanted to hire you or not. And maybe you would get paid. But yeah, like Redboard, some big companies were shooting that way. But it was also like some small companies and some guys who probably weren't companies at all, to be honest.
Did you take to it right away? Like when you were getting involved and you were just like, oh, I love this and I want to keep doing it? Or is it because, it's got a reputation also, the business, it's like, it ain't easy. Obviously people love sex. People love the fact that, this is, and I can tell you from our audience alone, you're not wrong, where it's like the second we opened up that gig, because normally we're talking about Marvel and Star Wars a lot of the times. We bring up the adult entertainment industry, and you see real quick, everyone's like, I that's what I watch. And we couldn't, Mike and I were like, well, look at the audience is showing you that, yeah, we can talk about it. We're allowed to talk about it. Great. And so, but the business itself is not an easy business, obviously. So how did you know when you were getting involved going, yeah, I'm going to pursue this. This is something I can feel comfortable with. How does that happen?
I'm not supposed to say this. And I understand that it's different for everybody, but I think it is an easy business.
Okay.
Especially. I think it is easy. All it is just hard work, or not even hard work, just like doing it. You know what to do. You can make content on your own if you're not getting hired. So you can like make your own job.
Right.
I control a lot of how I look. I've had some work done, but not that much. If you're talented, if you enjoy, I'm not sure what words I'm allowed to say on here.
You can say whatever you want.
Say whatever you want.
Mike's like, please.
Mike approves. Yeah, you can do whatever you want. You can go to LA and like as long as you're trying. I don't think it's that difficult, honestly.
And you got to love it though, right? I mean, you have to love it.
Love it.
Right.
I like to have sex, like, especially with the people I get to. I mean, I've had sex with some of the most beautiful people on earth. Like they would not be available to me if I wasn't doing porn. So it's not just easy. It's like, it's a reward. They pay you a nice chunk of change, not as much as maybe they should. I would like some revenue sharing and everything like that. Cause I don't get like healthcare or 401k matching or anything like that. I am still an independent contractor, an independent worker, but yeah, I mean, have you seen some of the people I've gotten to fuck? They're so attractive. They're so hot.
I think that's kind of what I meant.
Have you seen Axel Hayes' cock? It's beautiful.
Roxy's Googling it right now. Roxy, did you do research on Axel's cock?
He was 20 the first time I had him. This like gorgeous little blonde surfer guy with a huge dick and like abs comes in. He's like, "Hey, mommy," and I'm like, "Oh my god, I get to fuck that." Or like Max Fills, he's so cute. Just like some of the most beautiful guys out there. Like fucking like I'm Peter Hook. Like I mean, just gorgeous, gorgeous men. Fuck.
Well,
that sounds easy to you. That sounds intimidating to me. So is it like a specific personality type that when you're saying this is easy? Because what you're saying right now actually sounds like very overwhelming and challenging for me.
I had an ex say that to me. He was like, "Is it weird like going on set and just like you're gonna have sex?" And I'm like, "No." Like, do you ever like go on a date and you're just like you're gonna have sex? Like maybe it's. I mean, even if it's your first date, you're just like, "Oh, this guy is hot," or this lady or whoever is really good looking. I'm going to fuck them tonight. Like you never go on a date just knowing you're gonna.
And that's kind of what it feels like going to set.
No, it's even better.
But Roxy, I think with that answer, I think that she answered my earlier question is how she got as successful as she has, because it's the confidence that you're going into with this. It's the confidence because I think that there are a lot of people who don't find it easy because they don't have that mindset. I'm from not everybody. I'm sure there's a lot of people who do have that mindset, but there's a lot of people who don't have it and maybe don't look at it the way that you do. Because look, I talk about movies and interviews about upcoming movies, and there's days where I'm like, I don't want to go to work. And I can imagine where there are days sometimes where you're like, I guess I should ask, are there days where you're like, oh no, I got to do that today?
I can only think of a couple where I felt really bad and I really didn't like it. And well, I mean, I can only off the top of my head think of one. And it was to be blunt, my marriage was like ending and, of like 13 years.
Okay.
And I was so fucking pissed at my now ex-husband. And I got on set and the guy, he kept doing this weird thing where he would like, instead of kissing me, he would like suck on my chin. And I was just not in the mood. Normally I would find something about him that was hot, that I liked, something that we could do so that we could, everyone had a good time. But I was just not today. Today I was just like, what the fuck are you doing? Did
you stop the take or say something during the take?
I started holding his chin like this and kissing him on the mouth. And I thought it was so awful and everybody loved that scene. I think it got nominated and I was just like, seriously?
Wow.
But
when you're on set and
you're a professional
like that at home, I don't know if it's as similar that it is here. Like when I'm going through breakups or anything's happening, Mike and Kristian, they know about it. And so even if we're doing our shows, they kind of are aware. Is it like that with your colleagues, your coworkers? Like, did everybody know what was happening, or are you guys not friends like that?
Again, one time when my marriage was ending, I was my ex had done something where he was kind of like going to be back in my life, sort of. And I just did not want him back. And I was just like on my way to set, just sobbing. And I pulled in and I get out of the car and, Nick, one of the PAs, he comes out and he sees me. He's like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "No, get Susie. She's a director. I've known her for like almost 15 years. I was like, "Get Susie." And she was going to be an extra that day. So she gets out of the makeup chair she comes and she sits with me in the front of this beautiful house, and I'm just like crying, and she's like, "It's okay. You know, you're reacting this way because your body knows this is wrong. It's going to be all right, you know," and just really talked to me for like maybe like half an hour. And I calmed down. And yeah, we wrapped by 4. It was a great scene. It got a write-up. It was amazing. And so yeah, I was really glad that I was on her set that day.
Yeah.
Because she's someone I've known for a very long time. She and I share an ex-boyfriend who is still in our lives. We're all good friends. So yeah, sometimes they know. I tell the makeup lady a lot.
Yeah.
A lot of times I talk to the makeup artists. We'll be friends. But like, would I tell a director normally? It
No,
depends.
it's because you had a longer relationship with her. You felt comfortable with that. It makes sense. But it's and then also it's also fairly fascinating to me, even hearing you talk about that with the director, with the ex-boyfriend and everything, because it's like, does it, and again, and I apologize sometimes for if I come off like naive with some of this stuff too. It's just, that's kind of one of the main reasons I wanted to have you on to find out, like when it comes to, so relationships, whether it is the ex-husband or the boyfriend or whatever, because you're going to work, and you got to find somebody who's obviously very comfortable with the business, and you got to find somebody who understands the business, because that could be, I mean, I don't know how that works if not, you know, am I wrong?
So we don't get along now, but like the guy I was with for a very long time, he'd actually only slept with one other person besides me.
Oh.
So he was very innocent. But he would like come to events, and he was always just like very respectful. And like if I asked him directly, like, "Do you have a problem with my job?" Like he would be like, "Sometimes I get jealous a little bit, but I never saw any evidence of it." Like he never made that my problem ever. You know, we broke up for other reasons. And who else have I dated? I just got out of another relationship with it was like really quick. It was like 6 months with another female performer. And then, yeah, Susie and I, the guy that we dated together, he was a performer, but very small. And right now I'm dating another male performer. So I don't know.
Okay.
I mean, I think it's possible to date like a civilian, but,
Sure.
why would I?
Yeah, no, I get it. It makes it, obviously would probably make it a lot easier to know it's someone you can talk to the business about. It's the same reason, like when you have people, like when you talk about that, you know,
They're
with
tested,
people who might have,
you know.
yeah, with this also with the issue of it, I do look at it like when you look at actors and actresses in movies, and the same, and yes, different extremes. But if someone's going and you're seeing your husband and your wife or whoever kissing someone else in a big movie or whatever it might be, there's always that thing, whether it's penetration or kissing, it's still a thing. It's the intimacy level and how you deal with it in general. But you've got to be able to separate. And you're like, okay, that's what my significant other does. I'm either okay with it or I'm not okay with it.
You know how the way I feel about it is that orgasms are a renewable resource. Like,
Mike, make that a t-shirt.
I feel like, you know, my partner now, he'll act with other people and I'll act with other people, and I kind of like it. I kind of like that he's slutty. Honestly, I like that when he and like when I would go out with my ex-husband, you know, people would always come up to me and be like, "Oh, you're so pretty," and I was like, "Thank you." But when I go out with him, he's an industry guy, people come up to us and they're like, "Oh, you're such a beautiful couple." And so it feels like another way that we're more together. And I like that women are attracted to him. I like that men are attracted to him. Everyone's attracted to him. I don't feel jealous at all. It's just, I mean, he's hot.
Yeah.
I know where he's.
Yeah.
Are a lot of people in the industry poly? Is that very common for different actors in the industry?
From my very, I mean, I've not done like a study, but I think so. Yeah.
What was the question, Rox?
If a lot of people were poly in the industry, if they're polyamorous, just because based on the story you're telling, it sounds like people are dating multiple people at once and whoever they're comfortable with. So I was just curious if that was something that was your experience or many people's experience.
Yeah. I've never been monogamous. I hear people talking about like being poly or like unlearning stuff. I didn't have to unlearn anything or like have to try to be poly. I think that a lot of people are miserable because they tried. I think it's like being honestly kind of like being straight or gay. Either you are or you're not. And I don't think that you can like learn to be poly any more than you can like learn to be gay. I think that if you're just wired that way, that's how you are. I've never been monogamous. I wouldn't be happy being monogamous. I don't like it. I will never do it.
Yeah, and I think you seem like a pretty upfront person, so I think it's probably not a problem to let people know right off the bat kind of who you are, even whenever that might have been. So most things that doctors know that most dudes never really talk about, stress from work and money and family, it doesn't just disappear at night. It follows you right into the bedroom. You can be lying next to the significant other you've loved for years, and suddenly your mind is not even letting your body do what it's always done naturally. For situations like that, doctors look for treatments that help both the brain and the body, and that is where Rougiette Ready comes in. Now, unlike Viagra and Cialis, Rougiette Ready is a next-generation prescription treatment designed to help prime your brain for arousal and increase blood flow. It combines 3 clinically proven ingredients in 1 mint that dissolves under your tongue so it absorbs fast. Most men are ready in about 15 minutes, so you can stay present, confident, and in control when the moment is right. Over 150,000 men have already made the switch to Rougiette. Getting started is simple. Rougiette connects you with a board-certified doctor online, and your treatment gets shipped discreetly to your door. Now, for a limited time only, head to Rougiette.com/Kristian. Get 15% off your order. That is RUGIET.com/Kristian, and get 15% off your order. Rougiette.com/Kristian. Tell them that we sent you. One of the reasons I want to jump back into something you said about, because you're an independent contractor and you don't have the health insurance through them and other things too, but but that's also why I brought up social media earlier, right? Because you have a pretty strong social media presence. And are you able to, like, because some companies, you have like, okay, well, whatever you get from any social media, anything you get, we own that. Is that the case? Or do you get to kind of make your own business outside of, the companies you're working for?
Anything I get, they own, like, what?
Like your social media, right? So that your social media is your social media. Like they don't touch it. None of the companies touch it. Like you can build it. So you can, if you get any deals off of that or anything like that, that's yours. That's not any of the companies that.
So sometimes, like it's like anything else, like a company will be like, hey, if you post this, we'll give you like, it's never very much. It's like $100 or something.
Right.
If you post this for us, or if you, or they'll like a lot of times put together like packets for you and be like, oh, do you want to make this if you want to make it your header, you can. And if it's like a really big company, like Milfy or something, where it makes me look like nice and they're really good pictures, then I'll do it. Or like, and it's just more content, if they send me a trailer to post or something, I mean, I'll promote it. Not everybody will, but I think it's just more content. It's a day that I don't have to make anything.
Yeah.
And it looks good. And, then when later they post like, oh, Penny Barber was like the #1 selling scene for this week, it's because I posted it. That also looks good.
Right.
So I guess in a completely fair world, I would get paid for that stuff, but it isn't, it's fine.
Are you learning all of this on the fly? Like, do you have a mentor, or how do you pick up the tips and the tricks of the trade?
So there are conventions like XBiz or whatever theirs is called. Like you go and they'll have like seminars about different things, like how to run your Discord, or like how to do promo, or like how to find sponsors and stuff like that. So like there are like classes that you can take, but like at cons and things like that. And of course you can make friends and talk to people. I think that's probably the best way, is to, just have a community, build a community, talk to everybody.
When you were getting into the business alone, how familiar were you with the business itself? As I remember, I think I saw an interview where you said you didn't start watching it until a little later, but when you started to get more involved, were you watching it more? Were there certain performers where you were like, oh, wow, that person, I kind of, particular careers? Are there people out there, like you think of like the Nina Hartleys out there and other people along the lines? Are there people there that were like, I don't know, like who's like the Meryl Streep of the whole entertainment industry?
There's always Angela White. She is. Yeah, she is top shelf. Cherie DeVille is very cool and aspirational. Who else do I want to be like? Yeah. There are women who are inspirational. I'm like opening my freaking Twitter. I'm like, who am I following?
Yeah, I mean, it seems like there's tons of people that have obviously paved the way and done certain things, and whatever the business is, right? Whatever industry it is, and
Mike, who do you like? Who's good?
Mike, oh my God, we're going to be here for 6 months. Mike, go ahead.
Come on now, Jesus Christ, here we go.
You're being so quiet.
I'm the color commentary. I'm just trying to take it all in right now. Angela White's good. Kendra Lust, you mentioned.
Oh, is she good? Oh, is the queen good? Is the goddess good?
I'm saying the reason you're here is because you were the one.
Oh, I thought you were saying because she said no.
No. Trust me, it was all Penny. Penny was number one.
It's okay.
We were going through decades of porn stars. Who are our favorites? And then I said currently, I was like Penny Barber, and a couple of chats who? And then the next week, that's all the talk in the chat.
Yeah,
no other one else. It was just you. And then so I like Alexis Fox.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You and me both. Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you only rattle off one? Wait, hold on, Mike. How do you rattle off one name now? You rattle off 7 in 3 seconds.
You shut your mouth right now. Hold on a second, because I don't go for the 20-year-old looking anorexic. I can't. That's not. I like porn stars, women that are oh God, who else is out there now? Shit. Now I'm on the spot.
I think of my buddies, Arabelle Raphael, I think is really pretty. Millie Morgan, I think is really pretty. She's my ex, but I do think that Little Puck is one of the most beautiful women on fucking earth. If you don't know her, you should look her up. She hates my guts, but she's hot.
Okay. She hates your guts?
She does.
Do you mind me asking, why would somebody hate your guts?
I thought the breakup was going to be mutual. I really did.
No.
Apparently it was not.
Yeah.
But she's very attractive.
Right before we came on, because I had heard, I wasn't familiar.
Hold on, Harloff, hold on. Armani Black.
Yeah, Mike, you sound like you're in the Matrix.
We're together.
What's that? Great, Mike. Perfect.
He's got to close some tabs.
Yeah, close some tabs.
What's wrong?
No,
I'll close.
You're blowing it. You're blowing it.
What did I do? What did I do? Am I back?
Yeah, here you go. What were you saying?
I said Armani Black. You and Armani Black.
Oh yeah, Armani.
Yes. Yeah. That was.
Yeah.
Romy Rain. Armani and Romy are my fantasy versions of myself. Oh.
All right, Mike, you have to give me a list.
Penny, do you like watching your friends, or is that weird?
Great question.
It's not weird. No. Yeah, no, I like watching people that I know, especially, why I like it is because then I know which women are really queer and which ones are gay for pay. So I like to watch the ones that are really queer.
How do you
men?
Wait, hold on. Stop that for a second. Can you hold the question? Hold the question. I want to go back to that, what you just said. Well, how do you know?
Because they tell you.
Oh, they tell you. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought it was a kind of like a negative sense. Yeah.
What percentage would you say men are gay for pay?
Of men?
With you guys. Yeah.
Of men are gay for pay? How would I know that?
Hold on. Maybe I wasn't thinking that right. Hold on. Oh, no. Gay men that are doing straight porn, but are just gay.
I actually have met 3 guys.
Yeah.
In my whole 20-something year
straight
career.
For pay.
I've met gay guys that are doing straight porn for pay. Okay. I've only met 3.
This is a very ignorant question, but how?
How are they doing it?
Yeah.
Not well.
Okay.
Fair.
Well, because I can tell because
right.
Usually they can't, and honestly, I don't usually have a problem with that on set. The only times I've ever had a problem is when it was a crossover guy and they're like, yeah, so he's gay. And I'll tell them, I'm like, baby, it's fine. You can watch something on your phone. I won't touch you. It's okay. But so they'll have trouble getting excited and then they will, and then they'll come really fast. Usually is what happens because they just want to get it over with.
Wow.
Yeah. So they tell you.
If there's this is another bizarre question, but just thinking about myself, do you ever, if somebody is having a hard time getting hard or staying hard, does it ever make you self-conscious, or how do you stay in performer mode?
It's not personal. It's not happened very often. And like, well, I can only think of one time when it was with a straight guy. And it was kind of my fault. Like I got to set and I just like was not attracted to him, you know? And so I was just kind of being a little reserved. And then he was having a little trouble and I was like, oh, this honestly, it's kind of my fault, you know? So I like pulled him to the side and I had him lie down and I was like, baby, we're going to have a good time today. And I just like started aggressively jerking off until I squirted all over him. And then he was fine.
Oh.
Then he was like rock hard for the rest of it. So he just needed to know that I wanted to be there, even though I didn't really. And, you know, like he wasn't like unattractive, you know, he wasn't my type, you know?
That story was incredible in so many different ways. Because Mike, I'm going to make sure that when you tell that story in the edit, that there's a close up of Mike and how excited he was when you were telling that story. Like that was the best face of all time because it shows the professionalism. It does. It shows it shows the professionalism in what you were doing because you said you're not attracted to this guy. You are able to make it work. But my question with that, and kind of going up what Roxy said, is there, because of all the medicine out there, whether it's Blue Chew and Viagra, are people wired up on these things? Have to be. Right?
Oh, yeah.
Of course.
Oh, yeah.
Popping them like M&Ms.
Let me ask you kind of what you just said, we're not attracted to them. Have you ever been in a scene with someone you are attracted to where work is done in the season and it's carried over where you guys wanted more of what you were enjoying under the cameras and where it happened somewhere else on set and I apologize if that's too much. I
didn't hear all of what you said, but I can guess.
Yeah, I think he meant I think he meant because if it was because the scene was so hot. The scene was so hot, it just continued afterwards.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Like all the time.
Cameras were done regularly. And you guys were.
Yeah.
So for certain companies like Adult Time, they have a little questionnaire that you have to fill out beforehand. And one of the questions is, do you want sex to continue between takes? And I always say yes, because, you know, I like to keep the energy up. But yeah, like more times than I know. Actually, I had one guy, I'm not going to say who, was a male talent. I've had it happen a couple of times with female talent. It usually happens with male talent. I've had it happen a couple of times with female talent. But there was one guy that I was really attracted to, like so much. And yeah, like I contacted him later. I was like, can we? Yeah, I was like, please, please, can I have some more? Oh my God. And so we went back to his apartment and fucked some more. Sometimes on set, if I really like a guy, I'll give him $100 for his boxers. So, and I'll take those home with me. It was so cute.
Wow.
On my 40th birthday shoot that we were doing, it was so adorable. Little Max Fills was there, and I'm attracted to Max. And, you know, he was wearing these little like navy blue boxers with like a rose embroidered on them. They were so sexy. And I was like, I want those. And he's like, well, I'll just give them to you for your birthday. And I was like, no, baby, I'm going to pay you for them. You're going to take that money.
So you have a collection. You have a collection?
I do. I have a collection.
How many would you say is in that collection?
I have like 6 of them. It's not that much, but you know, it's fun.
That's fair.
Yeah.
It's like a trophy case.
I do. Yeah.
Yeah. One of the things I definitely wanted to talk about, and I brought this up when we were discussing, because I think one of the ways that this came about was that we were doing, I don't know what, someone suggested Mike do Michael Caine and me as Arnold presenting at one of the award shows for the adult entertainment industry. And we started doing the awards and as those two people. And then I started asking the question, like, does the awards, like for you, like, is it a big deal in the same way that it's like an Oscar for, like, does it elevate the career? Does it actually help?
It's nice. I like it. I'm like looking at, like, I have my framed Expos thing right here. I have like my littler awards back there, a bunch of my freaking cameras. Then I have my AVNs and some Expos awards over there. Yeah, like my signed Milfy hat, some art of me, a poster from a movie I was in, stuff. I have it all over the place. And you'll go to people's houses and they have them on display and everything. And it's so nice to see. It's such a recognition, and I think it feels really good. I love it. I love that I finally won something. It's crazy to me. Do you know how many people make porn? Do you know how many
it's a lot
thousands of people?
Yeah.
Like it's what is it?
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, it's like, of all the websites, like I can't remember if it's a third or half of them are adult in nature of all websites.
Wow.
I know. Like I thought that was surprising, didn't you?
Yeah.
But yeah, I when I tell my guy friends, they're like, well, of course. And I'm like, I didn't know that. But of how many people are making porn and you win something.
Right. Yeah.
That's crazy. So even just people say, oh, it's nice to be nominated. It really is nice to be nominated. Like,
well, no, it is true though, right? You want to be recognized in whatever field it is in general that you're in, and because if you make a great point where it's like there is so much, and look, there's so much content just on what we do on YouTube, and that's on our space, not in your space. Your space is like everybody's looking for something, and if you can find your way to people's, whatever it might be, the computers, the TVs, whatever it is. And then you recognize, I understand that. I think that makes a lot of sense for sure. One of the things that someone brought up and I was very curious about is VR. VR is a thing. Like, how awkward is that? Like, is somebody wearing like a headset when you're going to town on them? And how does that work?
It's the worst.
Is it the worst?
I almost don't want to ever do it. It's been a while since I did it.
Okay.
I do not enjoy shooting VR. So they have these like cameras. It's some kind of Canon. I can't remember which one it is, but they have to get it like right up next to you. It has a crazy wide lens, right? And it's like right here, but you can't touch it. And when you're bouncing up and down all over the place and everything, and you have to keep stopping and wiping the lens, and like it takes forever to position it. And especially now, because they will shoot it in, every VR shoot is really like 2 or 3 shoots, because they'll shoot it in close up, in VR on those cameras. And then they also want to shoot it straight for the ads.
Okay.
And so it's just like, Jesus Christ. It
seems like a process.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have to line that up? Like when you say for the ads, does it have to be like you're doing the same exact thing that you're doing in the VR version?
Yeah.
So you just kind of have to remember, like, when you turn, what moves you.
You do. We don't have script supervisors. They might. It sucks. It sucks.
Yeah. It seems like that. I mean,
for a second to the AVN Awards, I was kind of curious about this because one thing I learned after getting into the entertainment industry is how political the awards are. Like you win an Oscar because you basically pay for it. That's how you pay for nominations. Are your guys' awards more organic than that? Or what does it take to actually win an award?
I've heard that you can get them just for having like buying ad space or something. And I've certainly seen, I'm sure there's some of that. But it's 2 things. First of all, I do think that like the people who put a lot into their careers are also going to pay for stuff. And I think that, the people who are popular can afford to. So I'm like, okay. And also not everyone who buys something wins.
Right.
So there's also that. I don't think it hurts.
Yeah.
That said, I never bought anything from AVN. I did have like a booth at XBiz like 2 years ago, and I'll probably do another one because I had a really good time doing it. But I'd never paid for anything before I won it. I think that it's mostly, honestly, I think I won because I don't like set out to do this in a Machiavellian kind of a way, but I do tend to make friends with directors because I like movies and they like movies, and I like to talk about their cameras and they like to talk about their cameras. And we just kind of have like a lot of similar interests. And also I'm a little older, so is some older director going to make real friends with a 25-year-old? Probably not.
Right. Yeah. Mike, you want to ask?
Yeah, you had said that about the cameras. I saw on your Twitter, it's like a couple weeks ago, you had a camera.
So bad for them. Oh my God.
What's wrong?
Your camera decided to couldn't get it up.
Yeah.
How about now? Is it okay now?
Yeah, go.
On Twitter, you had a picture of yourself with a camera, and it's like happiest day of your life. Is directing something you want to go into? Or do you just love?
I've directed a little bit. It's hard because a lot of times I'll pitch a company something and I'll have like a big layout and they're like, wow, that's the best pitch we've ever got. We'll have someone else direct it. I'm like, fuck, And I do shoot. I know how. I would love to be able to hire a crew, but also, studios, it makes sense that they want to be able to go in with like kind of like a little lunchbox crew where you do a lot of things and you work all the time. And if you do come in as a talent director, a lot of times they'll just kind of like throw you in with one of their crews that they use all the time. And you're not really directing. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like they'll have like the director's like on set as a camera guy, but like I have flat out told a camera guy who was really director, I was like, can I get this shot? And he just said no. So I was like, I wanted a Dutch angle and he just didn't like it. And I was like, I'm not really directing, am I?
But
So
is
yeah,
that
I would
something-
love to.
Yeah.
I'll keep making my own stuff.
So one of the things a few different things that came up when we were talking about potentially having you on was that the audience was talking about, I think, and maybe the way that it's progressed, where I saw an interview that you did, and I think that it was you, the director, and two of the other castmates, and you talked about the movie that you guys were in. You were kind of sitting around and it was like you all were in like director chairs and you're talking about the movie, and the movie was like a detailed, like full-on movie with a kind of dark ending. And so there's like you guys are like not only just doing the performing with sexually, but there's a lot of acting involved though too. Who do you think, outside of yourself, who do you think is the best non-sexual actor in the business?
Oh, actually, it's the young man who was in that, the boy whose boxers I was talking about.
Okay.
He was in that kid named Max Fills.
Okay.
So when I first
Max Phil's getting a lot of today on this show. I'll tell you that.
I know.
Yeah.
He's my baby. I'm looking at him right now. The poster for it's right there. So Max really didn't used to be like, honestly, he wasn't much of an actor, and he didn't really want to be. Max was here to fuck. And I remember my friends who are directors, they called me up one time. They're like, hey, we need a guy who's a director. Who would you suggest? And I was like, well, Max Fills. And they're like, I don't know. And I was like, no, he can do it. And they hired him, and he did have a rough time getting through it, but he stuck to it. And then by the time the casting came around for The Secrets We Share, which is the thing you're talking about, Max, again, did not want to play this incel character. He was like, that's not who I am. I'm not this weird little guy. I don't want to do that. But they talked him into it, and Max knocked it out of the fucking park. Like he was at the end scene when because he kills me. The end scene, like he's like crying and like snot's running out of his face, and he's like just walking around like freaking out, And I just like I didn't know he had it in him. Like he just progressed so much as an actor from like being like he didn't even really want to do it to he really rose to the occasion. And I think that I think he got fucked at the awards this year. For he didn't even get nominated. And I think that he should have walked out of there. Like, no disrespect to the guy who won, but I think that Max deserved a fucking
champion. You're a real champion of the guy. I like that. And then when it comes to so I think about whether it's Tracy Lords, Sasha Grey, people who have kind of transitioned into both, and I'm sure there's other Nina Hartley, who was in Boogie Nights.
Yeah.
So is that something that you would be interested in as well as mainstream, more like if are there roles, there's acting, as you mentioned, you're in movies and TV, are there things that you'd want to do? Is that something that you'd always maybe thought of as well?
I have done some mainstream stuff. And it's fun. I'll do it. Honestly, I think that if I really wanted to do mainstream, I would have to have some. I'm going to be blunt. I think I would have to get caps to get veneers, and I really don't want to. I mean, my teeth are a little jacked up, but like I
love your teeth.
I love my teeth. Thank you, Mike.
Awesome.
I love them too.
Yeah.
I think they give me character, but I think that if I had to do, thank you, but I think that if I had to do mainstream stuff, they'd probably want me to get them fixed. And I don't want to do that.
Don't listen to them.
I wouldn't.
You mentioned, you talked about Max not wanting to initially do that role. Has there ever been a character or an offer that you're like, no, that's just something that I am not interested in or wouldn't feel comfortable with?
I started saying no to schoolgirl roles when I was about 30. The last time I ever did it, I showed up on set and I had pitched them this thing where I wanted to do like a nun and a schoolgirl thing. And I get there and I like had assumed that I was going to be the nun. And they're like, no, you're the schoolgirl. And I was like, oh, fuck you.
Yeah.
So,
but that's the majority of the things that you would pass up today.
yeah, like getting asked to play stuff like that. I don't really like, but other than that, I don't have, like, I had a female partner who like didn't like cops, and so she like would like not be in any film that had a cop in it. I'm like, it's a fucking movie, like whatever, you know, like. It's
What was it about Schoolgirl? Like, you think that that's not appropriate, or you just didn't feel comfortable, like you didn't like it?
I don't think it's inappropriate. I played a lot of schoolgirls when I was younger. Just because, like, you know, I'm a brunette and I would like wear glasses and everything. But I just didn't want to be a 30-year-old schoolgirl.
That's fair. Yeah, that's fair. There's a bunch of questions that came in from the audience that I want to get to in a second. But before I do, I wanted to ask you about one of the things that when you look at, like, again, comparing it to some of the mainstream stuff, you see actors losing jobs for tweets. You see people who decide, instead of talking about their profession or anything, they're talking politically and stuff too. And one of the comments of the audience was like, some of my favorite adult industry have been gone so far right or so far left, and I said, does that really matter when it comes to like what do you care about political opinions when it comes to that particular industry? And can that hurt someone inside of the industry? Like if someone's out there tweeting a particular thing, and I don't know if politics comes to play, but could that hurt somebody if they tweet too much about politics?
Yes, it can. And like, I don't really talk about politics. I always think it's weird. Like, people started asking me my political views. I'm like, I'm a porn actor. Like, why do you care what the fuck I think about this? Like, you don't know me. It's just like, I think it's just a parasocial relationship thing where they want to like have more of a connection with you.
Yeah.
But yeah, it can hurt people. People have said some things, you know, I have a line, you know, and some people have used like racial slurs and stuff. And I'm just like very publicly, I'm just like, what are you doing? You know, we don't talk like that.
Yeah.
So like, that's the line at which I'm like, I'm good. But yeah, I think it's a little weird when some guys like will post a lot of like photos of themselves with like guns and things, which they can do what they want. You know, I'm just like, what does this have to do with anything? I don't know. I guess I talk about movies, and that's not really on point.
No, I get it. But I look, I talk about other things that are inside of the industry I'm in too, but I don't bring up, personally, a lot of people on my show do talk about politics. I don't. Honestly, for the same reason you just said. I just don't. I'll talk to out of my friends. I'll talk to it with my and I'm not shitting on anybody who does. I'm just saying I have found that it makes more sense for me to kind of keep that part of my life quiet, and it seems like that's what you do. So I was just curious, and it's interesting that it does affect people getting jobs inside of that business as well. All right, let's jump into some of these questions because there were quite a few. And Michael D says, for Penny, what interests do you pursue outside of work? And are you a movie or music buff? And if so, what are some of your favorites?
I love movies.
Yeah?
I love movies.
Should be watching our show more.
Apparently, I don't know.
Yeah.
You talk about like really mainstream stuff. I like weird stuff. My all-time favorite movie is Alex de la Iglesia's first English language film, Perdita Durango. I love that movie so much. Oh my God. I'm going to have to watch it again now because I'm talking about it.
Yeah. What were some of your favorites last year? Did you have some favorites? Because we talk about a lot of the other stuff that's coming out of the A24 movies of the world. We talk about not just mainstream movies. We talk about a lot of the independent stuff. Did you see Marty Supreme?
No, I saw Pillion. I really liked Pillion. Marty Supreme's getting a little, I mean, I don't watch modern films very often.
Oh, you don't watch any of those? Okay.
I watch
the Oscars and stuff, not too much. Got it.
Yeah, I watched Human Lanterns.
Do you do horror? Like, did you watch the X franchise? Just thinking about things. What did you think of that?
I think the last one could have been better. It was a little bit rushed. I actually really liked the not Pearl. What's the other one? Just X?
Yeah, X, then Pearl.
I really liked that one. Honestly, that's the most realistic depiction I've seen of how 90% of porn gets made on
I was wondering that. So you felt like that was a good representation, like, oh, this is pretty accurate?
Small crew, yeah, weird location. Sometimes it's studio, but like I've definitely been on shoots that were very much like that without, people getting eaten by alligators and everything. But yeah, I loved X.
The next one here, Red Carpet Talk, who writes, Penny, for your thoughts and serious question. What genres and fandoms or hobbies interest you? I guess you talked about movies, and I guess I didn't get the answer as far as music. Are you a big music person as well?
I'm so pretentious. I like to go on YouTube and find stuff that has like very few views and stuff, and then I just like save it to this like one long weird playlist.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. What's something that we could search and give them more views that you're listening to?
Stupid. But
what?
My
what is it?
Song is "Smile" by Audio Summer.
Okay.
If that like suddenly gets a whole bunch of views, I'll be very happy. But
okay, good. Yeah, let's try to make that happen.
It's and a then weird old song.
Mike Joyce, who's very excited you're coming on the show. How do you feel about other stars in your industry making AI bots of themselves to sell to fans? Is that something that you would do?
So I was getting sold pretty hard on this service.
Okay.
For a while, I was like, oh, make an AI whatever of you. And I was like, all right. And so I signed up for it, and the photos were so bad.
Oh, really?
Oh, no.
Like I saw Mike's question about this. Am I coming in okay now, guys?
Yeah, you're good.
I saw Mike's question about this, and this is something I wanted to ask you about because I mentioned Alexis Fox earlier, and she had posted some pictures. I was like, but something's off. And then I kind of went down this rabbit hole of, is it JOIAI is the company or whatever? And like some of the girls, it's weird. It looks like them, but it doesn't. But with AI taking over every industry right now, is it something you guys are grappling with and dealing with?
So I've seen all this stuff like AI can do this. I've asked AI to do some tasks before, and it's never been able to do it satisfactorily.
Yeah.
Like for example, if I asked it to put up together a synopsis of a movie, Room in Rome, which if you're into lesbian erotica, it's a good film. And it couldn't do it. It can't do anything. When it tries to make AI photos of me, it'll take out these 2 moles. AI Penny doesn't have the moles here, so I've always emphasized them, but I've emphasized them a lot more now, so you can tell when it's really me. The photos are bad. They like don't have the tattoos right, and like they look kind of weird. They kind of make me like short necked. So I'm like this is my body, and I don't think it's very attractive. But
I think that'll change eventually, though. But as
maybe
ironing out
if it
the
was
kinks.
more spot on, you would be into it more. Like if you were like, this looks exactly like me, this is perfection, you would be more interested in having AI version of you.
I'm trying to think of like what I would want it to do.
Well, let me ask this then. When it comes to that, because like look at someone like Bruce Willis, obviously, who's just not doing very well right now. It's super sad what's going on with him. But I think with AI, I think that eventually, whether it's 10 years, 20 years from now, we're going to see a young Bruce Willis in movies. I just feel that that's going to happen with a lot of different things. So with your business, there are some like I don't know how long you feel you want to go and you want to do it, whether it's 10 more years, 15 years, however many years it might be. But with this technology, if perfected, you could be doing this until long where the 4 of us are all gone.
I mean, I guess it's people ask me as a performer, but I think it's more of a question for you guys, the viewers. You know, what do you want to see? Like, do I want to like not be able to get laid? Like, not particularly.
Fair question.
Do you? And I mean, like, I'll look at cartoon porn and stuff. That's fine and that's great and everything. But I also like to look at real people. I mean, do you guys do you like AI porn? Is that what you're interested in?
It would be interesting to see Roger Rabbit fuck the shit out of Jessica Rabbit finally.
You can see that now.
What's that now?
You can see that now.
That wouldn't be AI though. You could do that CGI.
That's true. That's true. You can see CGI. Good point.
So why hasn't anyone done it?
I don't think that is as interesting.
No.
I definitely would rather see real people than AI.
I agree. It's an interesting topic that's impacting many industries. So it's interesting to see how it's going to
I wouldn't want to listen to an AI
dirty talk, right?
Of this, like an AI of this podcast.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Because it's just because it doesn't have the emotion yet. It hasn't figured that out, or the rhythm or things of that nature. So until it does, I don't know. I think it's just going to be too hard to do.
It's not going to be as insightful. I don't think it ever will be as insightful.
No, it's true.
Maybe you're right. I don't know.
I don't know. It's a possibility. Okay. The Richards Art says, considering your current profession, if you do watch mainstream films, which I don't think you do all the time, but if you do you look at mainstream films, the romantic scenes differently? Are there any that you like and appreciate?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I like sex scenes in mainstream films. I really like Duke of Burgundy. I think that the sex scenes in After Blue are very interesting and cool. Have you seen The Baby?
No, what's
from
that?
like the 70s?
No, you know one, Mike?
I don't. No idea.
Oh, Mike, I can't believe
I'm letting you down.
Doing.
I'm letting you down. I'm sorry.
You really are.
You're letting yourself down.
100%. All right. So how about this one from Gregory Doptroop? Penny, first of all, do you watch WWE?
No. Okay. We have a local wrestling thing that I used to go to a lot that I should start going again, called Hood Slam, that I really enjoyed.
Yeah.
But I don't watch it on TV. I like to go have a beer and watch it in person. Okay.
And they also mentioned, and apparently you did mixed wrestling or something?
I did.
And so is that like WWE, or is that something, or is that more MMA or something? I don't know.
It's not like the No, but no, it's just like, it's more like they compare it to, I don't like saying this because it sounds creepy, but it's like high school wrestling, or like Olympic wrestling or something.
Okay, so it's almost like grappling and stuff too. Yeah. So and is that, I mean, obviously it's probably but where the WWE, it's like, but it's scripted. You know who's going to win.
No, you don't know who's going to win. No,
you actually wrestle you actually wrestle the guys.
Yeah, people are always like, well, is it fake? I'm like, the loser gets fucked in the ass. Do you think it's fake? Like,
what? Wait, what?
Mike, you signing up?
Yeah, we're going to wrestle?
Maybe I'll win, Mike.
Maybe, or maybe you won't. Interesting. Okay, well, not a WWE fan, but mixed wrestling. There you go. And then I actually did ask that one about mainstream movies. And I guess this last one here too, Michael Diagrar. Is there a career that you would want to pursue post your current profession? Something that you always wanted to do before you took up the adult industry, but for reasons you had to place on the back burner? Much love from Michael.
No. No, I want to work in adult forever. If I could start over and be like 18 again, I would probably want to be a DP or something, but I don't want to go to film school at like 50 or 60, so no.
Okay. No. It was an absolute pleasure to have you on. It really was. It was nice to get this insight of the business. You have another one, Mike, before you go?
Well, I just kind of piggyback on that last one. Yeah. So it's just refreshing to see an actress that loves what they're doing and doesn't, have the downside. Because there is, you see stories, but now you don't have any plans to retire anytime soon, right?
No, not. I'd have to be.
That's nothing but the worst. You love a star and they retire and they're done. It's the worst. So just want to get that out, make sure you're still going strong.
I love my job more every day. I'm so excited that I get to be a MILF. They keep putting me, they're like, what are you going to do when you turn 30? I'm like, well, I'm going to work with younger, hotter guys, apparently. So I'm quite happy.
And then Roxy, did you have one more before we took off?
Yeah, I'm just curious before you go, if there's anything that you wish that people knew that you feel like they don't know about you or the industry.
About me or the industry? About me? No, I feel like it's pretty much out there. I feel like I'm pretty blah, blah, blah. About the industry. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like people think it's really dark and stuff and like, oh, it's a really hard job and stuff. And I'm like, there's so much joy. There's so much joy and so much pleasure. and so many beautiful people, and I get to like go do red carpet things and wear gorgeous dresses and, you know, just, yeah. And like all the negative stuff, I'm like, if your fans are treating you like shit, don't talk to them. You know, just like,
Right.
I'm like, just fucking block him, you know?
Yeah, that's the way to do it. Is there anything that you want to let the audience know they should check out if there's a particular thing you are working on right now? Yeah, what do you got?
There is. We just finished our first thing for it. But my much younger boyfriend and I just started. We're gonna do an OnlyFans together.
Okay.
And I think we're calling it Suburban Hedonism, and we're just gonna like fuck everything that moves, mostly each other, and it's gonna be so much fun. And he's so hot. Oh my god! So, Roxy. You should look up. You should look up Peter Hook because it's really good.
It sounds like I have some Googling to do. I was doing a little bit while you were talking before, and I was
wondering why you were blushing, Roxy.
He has a mohawk.
Okay.
He has a mohawk?
He has a mohawk.
This isn't Max Phil's. This is someone else.
No, this is Peter Hook.
Yeah.
Penny, I'm very happy for you, babe.
I thank you.
And so, you know, and then that, based off that OnlyFans thing and everything too, I saw something, I don't know who's, I said there, I guess someone else is doing this who brought this up. I thought it was an interesting concept. There are two adult entertainers who do a podcast, and then after they bring a guest on, and then they bang the guest.
Ryan.
Yeah. Is that something that would happen on the OnlyFans?
Yeah, kind of stuff like that. I've been talking to them actually about doing theirs. They're very restricted with their dates, and so am I.
Okay.
But yeah.
Interesting. All right. Well, Penny Barber, ladies and gentlemen, it was great to have you on. You know, we should have you on for movies on one day on the actual live show. That would be great to hear your opinion and thoughts. I think the audience would love it.
I love movies. I would love that.
All right. Check out Penny Barber. Check her out on Twitter. Check her out on Instagram. And obviously you can check her out all over the interwebs. Penny Barber.